Incredible greetings. Hello, 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 everyone. How are you doing? Incredible greetings. All right, we are going to do our weekly, like our scheduled one. Normally it's on Wednesdays. However, I will be traveling on Wednesday tomorrow. I'm going to Atlantic City for the Impressions Expo. So I'll be traveling and I probably won't have access to internet while from my computer during the time that I normally do my live video, which is around like noonish. Actually, I'll probably just be landing. No, what time did I get there? I forget what time I get there, but I'm traveling, so I won't be doing any of those. But I do plan to record some and go live when I'm at the Impressions Expo on Thursday and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So you guys will get to see an inside look at some of that because I will go live while I'm there. If there's anyone that plans to be at the Impression Expo in Atlantic City this weekend or Thursday through Saturday, let me know. And hopefully we can link up. All right. Let's see. We're going to go over here to share this out. How are you guys doing? Drop a hey, how you doing in the comment section. I was feeling a little under the weather yesterday. Zion Imani brought home a stomach bug to everybody, and it just went from person to person to person to person. Luckily, it's one of those things that only lasts 24 hours. I'm feeling about 73.65% better today. I'm trying to find the shirt. I'm supposed to be working on my shirts for the expo. Shirts that I will wear, kind of like when I went to Atlanta. I always had on a shirt that I made myself, and things as far as like the business. But I was told that it's going to be cold, and y'all know I'm from Miami, so that means I don't have any long sleeve. I don't keep a lot of like long sleeve things. Most times I can kind of just layer. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do about that in creating me some items for to wear in Atlantic City because I was told that it's going to be chilly. And I'm a Miami girl. I don't do cold. Me and cold just don't work well. So, yeah. Let's see. All right, there we go. Let me see. I'm sorry, I had to fix something real quick. So yeah, I'm gonna share this out. Give me a moment, and then we're gonna get started. But feel free to go ahead and start posting your questions. That way, we can, keep it moving. Oh Lord, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. At everyone. Copy. Post. All right. So I'm just sharing it all out. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you guys so very much for joining. We are doing our weekly Q&A session a little bit early this week because I will be traveling to the expo. Oh, come on. Seriously? Hate when I do that. All right, there we go. All shared out. Because I am still recovering, like I said, I'm about 73.65%, good. But I'm still, there is no camera on me because, yeah, I am definitely in, I don't feel good mode. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Yep, it has hit even now. So um yes, there was homework. I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. But there was. It should be posted. Well, it should be talked about in the end at the end of the last video. All right, let's see. Hello, hello, incredible evening. I mean afternoon, incredible afternoon. Hello, hello, incredible afternoon. Thank you guys so much for jumping on. Hello, 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 hello. I am Shakeya, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are home of the incredible product line. Honestly speaking, we carry Sublimation ink and Sublimation paper, pigment ink, and other accessories. We have digital files via HS Ink Digital, and 365 Creative Academy is our online platform to help you unlock your creativity in a wide variety of classes and trainings. So you can find out information on all of our offerings on our website, shop.hsink365.com. Again, that is shop.hsink365.com. This is our weekly help session. I do these normally on Wednesdays. Like that's like the time I try to make sure that I'm on is on Wednesdays. Um, it used to be all like every other day, but now we pretty much do Wednesdays. But because I will be traveling, I'm doing it on today. Also, if you are someone who is enrolled in the Photoshop Essentials training, that will take place this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, since I will be traveling. And on my laptop, I don't have Photoshop. Otherwise, I would have still done the session because we will be back in the hotel by then, but I don't have Photoshop on my laptop. So we're doing the Photoshop session tonight. If you're enrolled in the Essentials to Photoshop training, and it's still, you still have time to enroll. My classes are always available for playback, so even if you miss the live sessions, you can always watch the full playbacks of them. Tonight we are going to get into the designing part of it. We had a session that we have to make up, but we're going to get into the designing part of Photoshop and start to bring together all of the different tools and things that we have worked on over the past couple of weeks. Okay. But like I said, this is the Q&A session. This is not This is not a class. This is not a dedicated, you know, live training or anything like that. This session is as informative as you guys are interactive. So if you have, the more questions you have, the better the session is, and the more helpful it is. If you guys are quiet and you don't have questions, it'll be a very short session and not so helpful session. So go ahead, post your questions. It can be about sublimation, printers, Silhouette Studio, Photoshop, business, marketing, branding. It's an open Q&A session. All right. So I am interested in using your ink with your paper, but I've already raw. Do you have cartridges? No, we do not sell anything for Sawgrass at the moment. We do have some that we were planning to test out. I still have yet to send those out. I'm because I'm really on the fence, about it. I don't really use my Sawgrass, so to get those where I'm not really using them, and when people have questions in how we do business, I like to be able to answer questions about things. And because it's not one that I really, really use, I'm still on the fence. So I did order some from our vendor to try out, or for others to try out in their printers, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on actually going through testing them and putting them on the website. Your pigment ink rocks. I've been printing images to turn into card sets after I add some die cuts, inking and embellishments, but color for images are fantastic. Thanks. Thank you so very much for that feedback and technically like a review. So I'm glad that you are liking the pigment ink. I know you have the newer Epson printer, and I know you always talk about the black ink and the fact that it doesn't smear and smear on matte paper or scrape away on glossy things. So even if you want to use the rest of the Epson line of ink, I highly recommend using that black ink from HS Ink. All right. So, who has a question for the professor? All right. Let me see. What is she referring to? No, it's working. Okay, so yes, it's great for stickers too. I use all your colors of pigment ink, but black is a lifesaver. Will I still use 365 30 seconds if I combine your paper and Sawgrass? Yes, it's still the same. It's about the paper, not necessarily the ink. So yes, I have done a few test runs with it. And did I do it on live? I believe I did, and it is still 365 30 seconds. Thank you for dropping those peacocks. You are very welcome. My pigment printer is broken. I'm so sad. It will not print without lines. Which printer do you have? I'm trying to use the pigment ink as well, but the chips aren't being recognized. My printer's at 20. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Do I just keep ordering chips and crossing my fingers? I really want to try this pigment ink. Unfortunately, yes, that is one of the downsides of the newer ones. We were told that these will be a bit more stable. Well, actually, I'm not sure if like when last time we ordered chips from us, but we do have that listed when it comes to anything for the um Anytime it comes with when it comes to this, we do have that disclaimer on the website that you can. Oh, why is this banner still up here? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay. So on here, when you go into read more, so this is a common issue because of the way that Epson, I guess, programmed the newer printers. They're not like the old workforce printers where you can just reset them. There really isn't a way for them to kind of to make the chips where they are like they can just be reset, and they're like they'll easily be read as far as connecting with the firmware, because each one has to have a serial number. For some reason, some serial numbers are rejected in some printers and not others. I've had someone who had a set of chips, well, quite a few people, and they have like two printers, whether it's 27820s, 27840s, 27310s, or a mixture of the three, and the chips will not read on one and then read on the other. We really have no control over which printers it reads on, which ones it does not read on. Unfortunately, yes, it's kind of a crapshoot to just kind of keep testing them and see which one works. The only way that you can guarantee that you are able to use those printers for sublimation, and have it read every time, would be to purchase, which is like when those printers first came out. That is what most people had to do. They had what was called like the 802. Those are also long cartridges, or the cartridges with no chips on them. And people would purchase the Epson cartridges, take the chips off of those, and put them onto their refillable cartridges. That was the only way to really use it when they first came out. If the refillable, just using the replacement chips is just a little bit frustrating. Like I said, the only way to fix that would be to get Epson cartridges. One second. Alrighty. So yeah, that is the downside of the newer printers. Incredible afternoon. Oh, 3640. Oh wait, you're the one that was having issues with the lines. Okay, now I was gonna say with 3640 uses a 252. I followed your fingers pushing air and the ink flowed on all three times. Yeah, so it might be. Only thing I always tell people is, well, one of the things I always say is you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. You have to change one of the variables. So although it can be a little bit more costly, the only thing that I can recommend is getting a set of Epson cartridges to see if it changes it. If it doesn't, then that just might mean that your print head needs to be replaced. You'll have to watch videos. I don't have a video on replacing print heads because I've never had to do it. And I'm not going to just do it just for the sake of a video, but there are videos out there where people have changed out the print heads. So that may end up being the route that you have to go, or just simply replacing the printer. Other printers don't last forever. I've had no problem with your chips, but would like to get black only chips also, because I have to change those. We do sell them. We sell all chips separately. So when you go to the actual, so if you're on just like, well, let me say here, Let's just go to essentials. I think it's under here. If not, I think what the issue is I don't have it under the Pigment Ink collection. Yeah, so it's not under the Pigment Ink collection. I have to remember to add it there. I think it's only when you go into, I'll change that right now. But yes, we do sell them separately. Oh wait, I'm going too far. So I'm going to go here and see right here, replacement chips. And see, all of them are available individually. Now, let me see. Yeah, because I don't have a collection that is for 7820, 7840 for Pigment Ink. And I have to remember that there are some people that use the Pigment Ink for, use those for Pigment Ink, but they are available. So let me put that on there right now. I'm actually about to change that right now. That's the joy of, I've been doing some things on TikTok for Shopify and just kind of answering Shopify questions. So let's go here and just kind of just talking about why I love Shopify. And it's things like this. Being able to change things on the fly is absolutely amazing. Okay, so replacement chips, and we're gonna add that to the collection called Pigment Ink. Oh wait, what is that collection called? Okay, I gotta find it. Hold on, let me pull, actually, I can come over here. I'm gonna move this out of the way so that you guys don't get to see my back end of the website. And I'm just gonna change, because I can click here. That's one thing, when you're on your page and you are the admin, you're logged in, you'll see a different bar at the bottom. So I can literally go right here to edit the collection and add that to it. All right, so while that's loading, let's go over here. Let's see what other questions you guys have. Do I have a trick to wait for the ink not to get on the edge of the paper as it prints to 720? I don't have that issue like most times. That's why I always recommend that no matter what, you trim the edges. I typically don't have an issue. If your printer is printing it out and you're seeing ink on the edge, there's probably something within your printer that you need to clean. Or your paper is curling to where the print head is like hitting the edges. But I typically don't have that issue. So I don't have any tricks for that, because I don't really have that problem. Let's see. Collection. Oh, because the title has Pigment Ink. Oh, great. I gotta figure out what else to do. See, that's gonna be another condition. Oh, any condition, or the product title includes. All right, let's do this. I got to get that title and put the whole thing in there. All right, let's see the next question while that is loading up. All right, hello again, and I'll just reset for anyone that is just joining. This is our weekly Q&A and help session where I answer your questions, whether it's about our product, Sublimation, Silhouette Studio, business, marketing, Photoshop, any of that. I normally do it on Wednesdays, but I will be traveling, so I'm doing it today. I know it's on my screen for the website. However, this is not just about our products. It's just because I can't put the camera on because I kind of got hotmess.com because I wasn't feeling well yesterday. My son brought a stomach bug home from school and it went from him on Saturday, MJ on Sunday, me yesterday, and now it's affecting my husband. So I will say I'm glad that the whole house was not sick at the same time. I'm grateful for that. We were not all sick at the same time because that just would not have been fun at all. And with the two adults not being sick, it just made it to where somebody was available to take care of the kiddos and whatnot. So grateful for that. Very much so grateful for that. Okay, so now the chips are there. Um, Now watch. Let's go over here. Let's go to the pigment ink. And it's the first one though, because it's actually one of the best selling items now. So yeah, now it's right there, and you can go right there to order to get your chips. I love the quick changes and being able to modify things on the website fairly quickly. It's absolutely amazing. If you have not looked into the benefits of Shopify, go look at a couple of videos over on YouTube. And once you are ready to set up your Shopify, send me an email and I can get you all set up. We can schedule whenever you set it up with me. You'll get access to my Shopify training, and you'll have some one-on-one sessions with me as well, just to make sure that your website is flowing. So if you're considering that, I will say just watch a few videos to see if that is going to work for you. And when you're ready to set it up, email me at theprofessor@hsinc365.com. All right. So I will give you guys a few moments to post questions. If there are no questions, we will go ahead and get off here. Don't want to keep you all on. Remember that these sessions are not dedicated classes where, hey, I want to show you how to do this. I'm here to help you where you need assistance at when I do these Q&A sessions. They are completely question driven. So no questions, no help session. So post your questions. It doesn't matter if it is about our product, sublimation, doing regular print and cut, centerpieces, like regular prints, print and cut, transfers for shirts, DTF questions, Photoshop questions, marketing, branding, social media. It's an open Q&A. Okay, so I'm trying to find a very big wall name. What size? Wait, I'm trying to do a very big wall name. What size do you think would be good for a child's name on the wall that I can do on a silhouette? There is no size. Like, what size? How much space do you want it to cover on the wall? There is never this, magic number as far as size. If you're just doing it on a silhouette, then you're limited to 12 inches as far as I'm not going to say height, but as far as like the width. Then it might depend on their name. Every person's name is different. So if it's going to be where you're going to just max it out to the 12 inches, however long you can get that is what you will end up doing. But there is no set size. So if I were to take my name and just go Shakeya, or you can also break it up and you're doing it in sections. Just depends on how much work you want to do. If you're doing the install, if you're going to be able to give them clear instructions on how to do the install. So wait a minute. Am I on caps? Shakeya. So let's say if I did like this. To make this where it was 12 inches in height. This, actually, no, I'm sorry, this is going to 13. So let's just go 12 by 36. Okay, so this would be, don't pay attention to the number up there. So this would end up being about, where'd you get 169 from? Anyway, this says 75. So that means this is really about 70, probably. Nope, probably is about 75 then. 76. So yeah. So if my name was in this particular font and it was 12 inches from the top and bottom of the letters, we're talking about 76 inches long. If it was a different font, let's see, let's go over here. Let's go with this one. It then only becomes about 50 inches long for it to be 12 inches high. Now, let's say you wanted it bigger than that and you wanted the letters to be however big this is, you would have to cut this up. So you would have to do your cuts. Now, this is something that's welded. So you wouldn't be able to really use a font like this because it needs to be welded the way this font is. But let's just say it was a font like this and I want it to be bigger. What you would have to do is cut them as individual letters. So it just depends on how much work you want to do when putting it on the wall. But there never is a set size. My printer won't work. That I'm not sure how I can help with that. You have to give me a little bit more information than that as far as what it's doing and what it's not doing. If you have two objects in silhouette, is there a way to size them at the same time? Okay, so it just depends, right? So I'll just use my name here and we're just going to fill it with color. I think Silhouette Studio is going to shut down on me. I've had all this stuff open for a really long time and I think it's like overwhelming too. It's overloading it. All right, let's just do these two. Copy and paste. I'm not sure as far as exactly what you mean as far as size them at the same time. Because if you take these two and they're selected, you're just going to increase the size of them. If it's something where you want it to be a specific size, the best thing to do would be to center them and lock it in place. Wait, if it had been let me lock it in place. I don't think it'll let me lock it in place yet because there are two different things. So actually, no, I'm just going to group it. There we go. We have to group them as one. Then I can lock it in place. So if I wanted this to go down to 12 inches, I can just size them both to wherever 12 inches is. And it's going to be based off of whatever is the widest point. So the other one is not going to be 12 inches. It just sized it based off of this one becoming 12. This one is only 7.274. So I'm not sure what it is exactly that you're trying to do, but as long as you just select them, you can resize them at the same time. Where can I find little girl blank t-shirt dresses? Oh, I've never done anything with a t-shirt dress, so I can't answer that one for you. Printing a large image on 11 by 17. Did you have another part to that? I'm not sure what you're trying to ask when it comes to that. I need a little bit more clarification on that. What do you mean printing a large image on 11 by 17? Hello, I installed the ink in my 720. I'm getting faded and alignment issues. What video do you suggest I watch to fix this? What print settings are you using? Are you using for pigment ink, sublimation ink? When you say alignment, is it just shifted? That's one where, I mean, if you could, if you're on Facebook, it would be better to go into my group and post a picture so I can see exactly what it's doing, because you're just saying fading. Is it like stopping in the middle of the print to where it's like fading off? Do you mean like your cutter color starts really dark and then it fades off, and like colors are missing? There's a lot of different like ways I can think of this issue, or I can visualize what this issue is without having a clear understanding of what's going on. All right, so Professor, I'm getting a bit confused. Now, there are so many ways for printing. What's the difference between EcoSolvent, DTG, DTF, Sublimation ink? All right, so when it comes to that, they all serve different purposes. EcoSolvent allows you to print to actual HTV. So if you have something that has a lot of colors to it, you're printing it out. You don't have to go and print out each individual color and layer and all of that. So it is printing out a full color, full graphic design, and it's going to cut. You're going to send it to a cutter. It is going to cut around it. You beat away the negative, and you're able to put that onto your fabric, because it doesn't have to be a shirt. It can really be on any fabric. You're going to put that, and it's going to give you full color. But it still is vinyl. It just allows you to do just a full color design. It's really no different than doing Jet Pro 3G or any of the transfers for darks. It's just that now you are using a vinyl that is to some a little bit thinner than Jet Pro 3G. It's easier to transfer. If you have areas that are not connected, it will be easier to transfer. But it still requires you to have solid lines that can be cut. You cannot do anything that like blends or fades off when you're doing EcoSolvent. DTG is direct to garment. Really no limitations in it. It just means that instead of putting it on any type of transfer or putting it, all the other methods require you to put it onto a paper or transfer or film first. DTG is just that, direct to garment. You put your garment onto the platen and it slides into the printer and it prints directly onto the fabric without having to go onto some sort of transfer. DTF is the transfer version of DTG, kind of, sort of, because when they kind of first started doing that, that's what a lot of people did. They took their DTG printer, they printed onto the film, they put an adhesive powder on the back, cured that, and that makes it to where you can apply it to shirts and not have to use pre-treat. Sublimation is the process where you're going to print it. Back up. So with EcoSolvent and true DTF, not the hack that people are doing with Sublimation ink or inkjet ink, that's a hack that does not have any white ink at all. So with the hack of with the true DTF, DTG, which because it'll put white down as an underbase, and EcoSolvent, you can put that on colored garments. With the hack of DTF, it is still limited to white cotton garments. If you put it on color, you're going to have the same issues as if you sublimate it to color garments. But those allow you to put it on any dark color or any color. With sublimation, ink is translucent. There is no opaque white underbase for it. So when you press it to something, you're going to see those colors through. So white gives you the best colors, and any other colors, you're not going to see the colors as true colors. Whatever color you're putting it on is going to affect the final, like the overall color of the final press. Sublimation is limited to polyester or synthetic fibers, whereas with the others, it can go on any fabric. So that's, in a nutshell, the differences in them. You do not have to do them all. I don't recommend that you try to do them all if you're not prepared for it. Some people feel like they got into sublimation, and because they did not fully research, they feel like it's limited. Or once they got into it, they did like it, but people are asking for other items. Each one of these is it can be a significant cost involved in it to do it the proper way. Most people are doing conversions of printers for EcoSolvent. but you are limited to just HTV. I have an eco solvent printer because I wanted to use mine for actual vinyl decals. Um, when you're in the space of where you're just doing apparel, um, there's a lot of different ways and you don't have to incorporate them all. So for me, my eco solvent printer, I didn't go into it wanting an eco solvent printer for garments. And some people, when they think of it, that's all they think of. I use it mainly for decals, because I do a lot of like print and cuts. I can print to vinyl. Well, do like I'm gonna say not print and cuts, like well, print and cuts, but like standees for parties and stuff, centerpieces. I can now print that on one big sheet, put it down, and cut it on my foam board versus splitting it up in Silhouette Studio and then doing it in chunks and in sections. So it just depends on what you want to use it for. Um, That still doesn't help me. It won't print and seal. I'm not sure. So when you hit print, what happens? That still doesn't kind of help me. You're saying sublimation ink, does it stop in the middle of a print to where, like, what do you mean by fading? Sizing a picture to fit 11 by 17 on 11 by 17 for a 2X shirt. You just size it up. So if you want, like if I had 11 by 17, oh, come on, 17 paper. So if I had my design here, I'm just going to select it and shrink it down to fit the width of 11 by 17. I'm not sure if you're trying to figure out a way to force it to be a full on 11 by 17. That will depend on how you designed it. So like in my foundations of designing, this is one of the most important days and sessions of the designing. We talk about these different shapes and visualizing the shape and how you want your design to be. You can make a design where it's more long than it is tall. So you'll never be able to fill out a full 11 by 17 sheet because it just wasn't designed that way. It wasn't designed in a portrait mode. It was designed more in landscape mode. So it really depends on how you set your design up when you first started creating the design. Let me see. Do I have the shirt version of this over here? No, I don't. So let's say something like this. On 11 by 17 shirt, I mean, 11 by 17 paper, I mean, without going like too wide or, I mean, not going too close to the edge, not too wide, not going too close to the edge. Why are you moving like, oh, why is my stuff on that? So if that ever happens to you where it doesn't move smoothly, I have no idea because I never have mine turned on. If you come over here to your grid, snap to grid is selected. I have no idea why. So I'm going to uncheck that and see now it'll move smoothly. So I'm going to put that right to my print border and I'm going to come out to about there. So that's one way. Now, if I wanted this to be where it's longer, I'm going to ungroup it. We're going to move this down. I can either put this above or let's go below. And if we make this smaller, now this stretched out to 11 inches wide would be a much longer design that takes up more of the shirt. So we're at 11 inches wide. It's almost like a square by 11.8 inches. Well, it's not quite 11 inches wide. It's what, 10 by 873 by 11.814. And this one, same exact elements, but in a different arrangement, is now 10.64. Well, is not necessarily now, but it is 10.64 inches wide by only 4.465. So it just depends on how you have it set up when you are designing it. All right. Any other questions? All righty. Where do I get mine? I get mine from a local place here in South Florida called Florida Flex or Florida Flexible. But if you just search Jet Pro 3G, there's several places on Amazon. There are other online sites that sell them, but I get all of mine locally from Florida Flexible. They do ship, but you may be able to find someone that is closer to you that's going to, probably be better for shipping. No problem. Hello, welcome on to the live. Let's see, we are at 48 minutes. We will have about another good 10 minutes of questions, unless the questions, you guys have no more questions, and we will go ahead and get off. I will not be on for a live Q&A for the rest of the week. I will do my best to go live when I am at the Impressions Expo, but I won't be live as far as like Q&As or anything like that. No classes for the rest of the week. But I will do my best to go live during the expo and just kind of, show you guys around. Yes, I did. I would not know. I have never done anything with little girls' dresses that are for sublimation. I am not one that where I try to, look for all things that can be sublimated on. It's just not my niche. And not something I desire to do. I pretty much just stick to shirts. I'm not even really into doing sweatshirts and things like that. For me, sublimation apparel wise is pretty limited to shirts. Can I use my iPad? My iPad instead of a computer to print off submission. So Silhouette Studio does not have a design app. There is one to send your designs to your cutting machine, but there is no design app for Silhouette Studio. You must have a computer for that software. You're welcome. Actually, I think I probably will do this one for one of my shirts. I'm actually going to print this out for one of my shirts for the expo. Let's print you out. File print. Actually, I think it might be 13 by 19 paper in there. Alrighty, so I know you have different colors. Are you going to give a shot? No, I will not be. I don't really feel the need to spend money on something now. If they were ever to send it to me, I would definitely use it, but I don't have a need for another cutter. My cutters do just fine. So no, I personally will not be purchasing one. I've kind of given up on the trying to be the influencer that has everything and wants to do all the demos, because at the end of the day, that doesn't really make me any money. I end up like, I got a sawgrass, got it not because I needed it, I got it for other purposes. So I end up with a bunch of things that I don't need and almost feels like wasting money. So yeah, I'm not purchasing. I'm done with trying to be that so-called influencer that just shows people some of everything, because it don't help me none. If I go and I do that, all I'm doing is helping Caesar make money. There's nothing in it for me. So yeah. If I already have the design, I can't use an iPad to print it in Silhouette. So Silhouette does not have a software from an app that you can go and pull it up on your iPad or mobile device. So if you already have the design, you don't need to print from any app. You're going to have that design on your computer, on your iPad, and you're just going to simply hit print to send it to your Epson printer. Now, you are going to be limited in the way that you can adjust your settings. So things like turning on quiet mode to help slow down your printing, being able to select, like depending on which paper you're using, you're going to be limited on those settings. But you can just print from your iPad, but it's not a matter of it going through Silhouette Studio because there is no Silhouette app. And you cannot design on anything in Silhouette. On a mobile device when it comes to Silhouette. So if you have a Chromebook and you desire to use Silhouette Studio for designing, then you will have to get a different computer. Can you use the clear HTV and then submit on top for dark clothes? No, you cannot, because clear is clear. You're putting it on dark. You don't have a white underbase. Clear just allows you to put it on a white cotton shirt. The same rules will apply because ink is translucent. Which of the new workforce printers would you recommend, or does it not even matter? They are literally all the exact same printer. The only difference is the number of trays and whether or not it is an all-in-one. So if we go over here and we look at like this, so this right here is the 7840. The top one is the 7840. It's an all-in-one. So, and it has two trays, and of course, like I said, all in one. It still has a rear feed and it has a scanner. The 78, this is also how this C7000 is set up. It's just that it's white. The 7820 is this one, where it is just a single tray. It is still an all-in-one with the fax machine. It has the scanner, the ADF for scanning and stuff like that. This is the 7310. It has two trays Does still have the rear feed, but it is not an all-in-one. There is no scanner to this. So that's the only difference. Other than that, they operate all the same exact way, use the same cartridges, have the same issue when it comes to the chips. They're all the same. It's just two trays, all in one tray, all in one, two trays, no scanner. If you already have a printer with a scanner, then you may only need this one. I like having the scanners because that's how I make templates. So if at all possible, I like having them, but I do have two 7210s. So like over here, this is the 7210 or the 7110 looks like this. I have two of these because I have several of the 7720s that have a scanner on it. Let's see. Is there or do you have a service to set up online platforms for sales? I just can't find the time to do it myself. No, I don't set them up. Nope, I do not. Um, yeah, I can walk you through it to make it a little bit easier for you, but you would still, even if I were to go in and set it all up, you would still be responsible for your pictures, your graphics, knowing what your descriptions and things like that. Like I can go in and I can set it up and kind of put it in order as far as like making sure your collections are set up and things like that. But I do not do any of the graphics and I don't write any of your descriptions or anything like that. You still have to have all of that, and I will, coach you through it. And also, don't maintain sites. So if something needs to be changed, I don't do that. It's the initial setup, and that's it. And that, like I said, that is you still having your graphics, whether you do them or you just hire someone to do your graphics and edit your pictures down. But that's as far as I go with that. I do a little bit too many other things. Somewhat of a one-woman show when it comes to that side. My staff isn't really into the design side. So right now we're not set up to where we have the manpower to do all that I already do and set up websites. But I am able to help you through it and help you understand it to where it is a very seamless and not so hectic process. A lot of times I find that when people say they don't have time to do it themselves, it's simply because they don't understand how the website is set up. Once you understand how it's set up, it is really, really easy to get set up and manage and maintain. All righty, we are at 1 hour. Yeah, and that, so like I said, the hardest part is this part right here. It's all of the graphics. Once you have your graphics, it really is not that bad. It all depends on like how often you're changing your graphics. Like, if you're putting up a bunch of different designs like all the time, for me, these always change my thumbnails, but I have this set up in Photoshop where it's really easy for me to kind of go in and change. You'll notice that almost every last one of these thumbnails are the same fonts, kind of the same type of like layout and feel. That just makes my life a whole lot easier when it comes to that. So if you end up setting up basically like a template for yourself, if you're going to change out things, everything is kind of uniform. If you look at how certain things are set up here. So this is basically a template. So all the top part is the same. I end up changing the words here, and when it comes to the paper, that image is pretty much the same. All of this around here is the same. when I'm taking pictures of my products. They are pretty much lined up the same way. Um, and these are all this is a combination of here, this one, and then this right here. So it's not like I had to go in and take pictures of each one individually. It's just knowing how to set it up. And this was done in Silhouette Studio. So having actually no, was he done Silhouette Studio? These may have been actually no, I think these may have been done in Photoshop because I had to fade away certain things. So it's just a matter of this exact same one, shrinking it down, putting this here. But you'll notice that all of my pictures fit the same size box. Um, but it's like there's a certain style. And doing that makes it very easy to make changes or do different products, move things around fairly quickly. When it comes to my digital files, there, I have a template for that, to where I have the digital file part on the side. The price pretty much is in the same spot, same color. Um, my text at the top is still the same. Let's go down here. So it's all very uniform. And when you create a system like that, it just makes your life so much easier. Yes, it also creates branding, correct. Um, Now, before, and you'll see, I'll go through some of these, it was a different type of setup, which I need to go like the here, hence the trying to keep stuff uniform, because sometimes you don't have time to go back in and change it. I like, want it developed over time. So it wasn't like it was always this way. Sometimes things will change. So with these, some of the older templates, it was still branded, but it was a little bit different. So you see how before it was when we were like still under Stillaholics Anonymous. That's also, you can tell where I went from the website, because originally the website was called Silaholics, well, shop.silaholics.anonymous.com, because that's what everyone knew me as. But as we are building up on HS Inc., which is our actual company, that is us, it's not really connected with anyone else, it all started to change. So you can see Silaholics Anonymous, but all of these templates are the same. So when I had these were done in Silhouette Studio, all I had to do was go in and put the picture or crop the picture into this and then just change all of the words. But it was basically the same. Which I could have sworn I took all of this off of here. I'm about to go do that now. That was real cute and fun when stuff was going on with Jada. I could have sworn I took all that off. But see, this was the template before. Whenever I had to do anything, I would just, go in, fill it in, change colors, and call it a day. So as long as you take the time to create that up front, it can make adding new things to your site a little bit easier. You see how all that was set up? And then you can see the change in this one from the grad fans. Where these were the first digital files I think I put on the site. So it took me a little minute to kind of come in, I guess you say come into my own as far as like digital files, but these were some of the first ones that were on my site. So you can see the template for these are a lot different. And then I was like, okay, I want to more so like have it kind of like branded. So having this and just making it a lot easier to change out pictures. So you're really literally seeing the evolution of my website in real time. But yeah, descriptions are going to be figuring out the aesthetics of your website, making it to where it's cohesive. I will be honest, nothing drives me crazy more than to go on a site where it is half mock-ups that aren't too great, guys. Some of these mock-ups y'all using really aren't that great. So seeing like half mock-ups and then half pictures, and the lighting is not so great on them. Your background constantly changes. There's nothing that's very cohesive about how you take the pictures or how you put them on your website. If your background isn't going to be the same, I highly recommend just taking a picture of your products, removing the background, and then having some sort of standard background that you put things on. One of the sites that I love to kind of show would be Fenty. And when I did my Shopify one, it was a couple of things in here that I pointed out. So she has two different, ones, right? So Fenty Beauty and then Fenty Skin. But even when you go here, when it pops up, well, actually, wow, they changed it. Normally, it's the same type of aesthetics on that main banner, with it being like a split banner. That was kind of one of their signature things. So something like this, right? It is, you'll be surprised that most times this is not a true shadow and it's done via Photoshop. Actually, I can tell this is done via Photoshop because I can see where they cut this out right here, and there's a separation in the shadow up there. So it may be to where they have a picture of that, what's that thing? Like this, the actual make of the concealer, and then taking that picture and then putting, the actual bottle on top. So they actually changed this website just a little bit. So look at how they did this, where it is the bottle and you have this background that is split. And this is also done. This is a Photoshop job. This is not that's not the real shadow on it. It's a little too perfect. But there is a signature to how they have it all set up. I'm going to go back over here to beauty. And so they have the split. And then if you've gone like through all, like if you kind of pay attention to her site, it's always kind of the same type of setup. So all it is them kind of going in and changing the picture, changing the words on it, but it doesn't really change. Having things like this to go to your different collections. This is a picture that is set up, and then when you put a button on it, it won't, your mouse and stuff will change. But if you notice, these are all set up the same way. Tan color background, you have a small picture here. The fonts are all the same for the main title, the supporting text, and then the way the buttons are. And here is our 3 split banner, again, just changing out the images that's in them. Keeping very clean backgrounds. So this was for her fragrance and in the way that this picture was taken. But if you notice, each one of these still has that off-white tannish type background. Here's a 3 split again. Here is those products. And even without taking them on those individual, like on those different backgrounds, because you never know, if you want to change it up for a different season or something like that. But I'm pretty sure, like even with hers, even if it was like Christmas time, it lends itself to the color of her packaging. They would be able to take these pictures just on whether it's like a green screen or a standard background. Someone's going to come in there. They're going to remove the regular background, and they're going to be transposed onto this background where everything is uniformed and kind of just has the same look. So it just depends on, what you want for your website. So hopefully that helps. The part that you write out, I will tell you, is going to be the hardest part. Give yourself some time. Think about your terms and conditions. Think about, write down how you want your collections to be. The more information you can write down in your business journal, which I highly recommend that everyone has, the more that you can be detailed and just simply writing it out. Once you actually go to the computer and start to do things, it's going to make it easier, as long as you know how to add collections, how to add it to your top menu and things like that. So that's where we're going to close it out at, because I got to go get the kiddos from camp and take them home and then come back for my Photoshop Essentials class. So yeah, I will see you guys next week for the Q&A session. I will be live at the Impressions Expo to just kind of give you guys a look around and what is there. There's a couple of booths that I am super excited about seeing up close and personal. Although I don't plan to ever do screen printing in-house, I love looking at screen print machines and just how they work. And if I'm not mistaken, they're going to have one of their auto presses, their auto screen printers on display. So I cannot wait to see that. TKO just said that they are debuting their puff transfers. Can't wait to see that. Let me see what else. For this one, Epson isn't there. I'm hoping that they'll show up to the one in Texas, but if not, I'll probably have to make my way to one of the Long Beach ones for all of the different Epson printers. There's a lot of, I'm looking forward to seeing Stan Banks and his shop talk with the Ink Kitchen. And I kind of saw a little bit of his slideshow for his presentation. So I'm looking forward to seeing him there. Looking forward to seeing Alexis Galloway for all of my embroidery. Those who are into embroidery, she's going to have a session on how to start and grow your embroidery business from home. So I'm looking forward to seeing her from So Sweet Academy. Even though I like to embroider, I like all things embroidery. Let's see. Who else am I like super? There's a lot of clothing vendors that I'm super excited to see, to try and get those connections, because we do want to be a distributor for some of those brands. So I'm really, really excited to get to see and meet and speak with the reps that will be there. So hopefully I'm not too caught up to where I remember to go live for y'all. I'm remembering to bring my extra charger packs, my battery packs. I'm going to actually bring 2 of them to be on the safe side, because yeah, it's going to be a lot and my phone might go dead. I will be to that one as well, God willing. But yes, I will be in Atlantic City. I am leaving in the morning. I will be there tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow morning, should I say. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Oh, don't forget to visit the website shop.hsinc365.com. That is where you're going to find all of your sublimation needs, sublimation ink, sublimation paper that allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. You don't need a lot of ink. We get great release, great colors, vibrant colors, just using plain paper setting. Yeah, try it out. Until next time, peace.